Iran is projecting a decisive shift in power, declaring what it calls a historic defeat of the US-Israel axis, as reported by its top leadership. Tehran claims sustained battlefield pressure forced Washington into accepting its terms, positioning the ceasefire not as compromise, but as a strategic outcome shaped on Iranian conditions.
If attacks against Iran are halted, our powerful armed forces will cease their defensive operations.
According to Supreme National Security Council, Iran asserts that the United States and Israel suffered a crushing and undeniable defeat in what it described as an unjust war. The leadership credited battlefield sacrifices and strategic command, claiming that this momentum translated directly into diplomatic leverage and forced negotiations. Iran's Foreign Minister Seyed Abbas Araghchi confirmed that de-escalation is conditional. He stated that Iran would halt defensive operations only if attacks stop, while announcing a 2-week reopening of the Strait of Hormuz under direct coordination with Iranian armed forces, reinforcing controlled access to a critical global route.
The request by the U.S. for negotiations based on its 15-point proposal, as well as announcement by POTUS about acceptance of the general framework of Iran's 10-point proposal as a basis for negotiations, I hereby declare on behalf of Iran's Supreme National Security Council, if attacks against Iran are halted, our powerful armed forces will cease their defensive operations. For a period of 2 weeks, safe passage through the Strait of Hormuz will be possible via coordination with Iran's armed forces and with due consideration of technical limitations.
Tehran has also outlined a sweeping 10-point plan, which it claims Washington has moved toward accepting. The framework includes guarantees of non-aggression, sanctions removal, recognition of nuclear enrichment rights, compensation, and withdrawal of U.S. forces, alongside continued Iranian control over Hormuz and cessation of hostilities across all fronts. Iran's peace plan. Tehran's 10 big demands. The U.S. must fundamentally commit to guaranteeing non-aggression, continued Iranian control over the Strait of Hormuz, acceptance of enrichment, removal of all primary sanctions, removal of all secondary sanctions, termination of all Security Council resolutions, termination of all IAEA Board of Governors resolutions, compensation payment to Iran, withdrawal of U.S. combat forces from the region, ceasefire on all fronts, including against the heroic Islamic resistance of Lebanon. Despite the ceasefire window, Iran has maintained a firm deterrence posture. Officials have emphasized complete distrust of the American side, with negotiations expected via Pakistan. They have warned that any violation would trigger immediate retaliation, underscoring that this pause remains fragile, conditional, and tightly bound to compliance on the ground.